In a realm where wealth flows like rivers and glory hangs thick in the air, a king ruled not with might, but with a voracious hunger that knew no bounds. King Arendam was his name, a monarch whose insatiable desire for beauty would carve a tale of caution etched into the very fabric of time. As he ascended the throne, cheers rang out, echoing through the grand halls of his castle. A hero revered for his bravery and intelligence, his name became synonymous with victory over rival clans and securing peace treaties. Yet, lurking beneath this facade of strength lay a darkness, a relentless obsession that would consume him. At first, King Arendam's yearning seemed innocent, confined to the delicate beauties of his royal court. But as days turned into nights, his thirst spiraled into a storm of uncontrollable desire. A parade of women filled the palace, each more enchanting than the last. Noble daughters, wives of loyal soldiers, even the humble maidens of the village were summoned to fulfill the king's insatiable cravings. Fear settled like a thick fog over families, knowing that their daughters could be claimed by the king's roving eyes at any moment. Whispers of dissent began to echo in the shadows of the kingdom. Ministers, concerned for the welfare of their people, approached Arendam with caution. "Your Majesty," they implored, "the people are murmuring. They say you seek pleasure over their suffering." But the king, with laughter like thunder, dismissed their worries. "A king deserves the finest of life," he boasted. "Women, wine, and music are the jewels of my crown." As he reveled in his indulgence, a rot began to fester within his once flourishing. The kingdom, which had basked in the glow of prosperity, now began to decay. Taxes weren't levied to build roads or feed the hungry, they served merely to fund Arendam's lavish feasts and maintain his growing harem. Farmers were left starving, soldiers unpaid, and bustling markets grew eerily silent. Yet inside the palace, the air shimmered with music and laughter, a haunting contrast to the cries of despair from outside its gilded walls. But the king's desires turned dark, his lust morphing into tyranny. Those who dared refuse the king's advances faced dire consequences: exile, imprisonment, or even execution. The love and admiration once felt by the people twisted into silent curses, a festering resentment brewing in the hearts of those who once cheered his name. Meanwhile, the kingdom's defenses crumbled, as soldiers, abandoned and unpaid, turned their backs on the crown, their loyalties. As unrest simmered, a neighboring kingdom, sharp-eyed and opportunistic, seized the moment to strike. With Arendam's army devoid of loyalty and desperation etched into the faces of soldiers, the enemy surged forward like a dark tide. The once mighty walls of the kingdom could not withstand the onslaught of betrayal. Inside the palace, oblivious to the chaos outside, King Arendam clung desperately to his pleasures, believing that wealth could shield him from the impending doom. But betrayal, like a venomous serpent, slithered within the palace walls. Disgusted by their king's excesses, his ministers conspired in secrecy, casting open the gates to the advancing enemy. The palace fell swiftly, resistance crumbling like the dreams of a once great ruler. King Arendam was dragged from his chamber, his crown stripped away, and tossed before the people who had suffered under his reign. Cheers erupted from the crowd, a cacophony of relief and vindication. The tyrant who had robbed them of their daughters and starved their families now stood powerless. Arendam was not executed, for his downfall was more profound. He was exiled to a desolate fortress, far removed from the wine and warmth he once cherished. In that barren land, silence enveloped him, and loneliness became his only. As the days dragged on, memories of laughter and beauty became cruel reminders of what he had lost. Alone in his fortress, he withered into obscurity, a forgotten king buried beneath the weight of his own desires. Death came to him quietly, unmarked and unloved, a shadow lost to the sands of time. In the wake of his fall, the kingdom slowly began to heal. A new ruler emerged, one who understood the importance of balance and compassion. Yet the tale of Arendam lingered in the hearts of the people. Elders gathered children around them, recounting the story of the lustful king as a timeless warning. A ruler who cannot control his desires will lose both his throne and his people, they would say, their voices solemn with the lessons of the past. The tale became a fable, a lesson passed down through generations, reminding all of the fine line between power and indulgence. If this tale has ignited a spark within you, don't let it flicker out. Show your support by liking this video. For more stories woven with lessons from the past, subscribe and share this journey with others. Your small gesture breathes life into many more narratives. tales of caution, wisdom, and timeless truths waiting to be told.